Hi Shen, how are you? Hi Ron. Hi logins. Hi Boo, what's up? What's poppin', gamers? Tell me about your day. What are you up to? How's it going? What's poppin'? How's it been? What's going on? Randomly loaded up my stream and here you are. Yeah, it's almost like I've been streaming at the same time, at the same schedule, on the same days for years. Hi Vol. How are you? Working earlier, messing around in Minecraft right now. Gonna prep some chicken later. Hell yeah. What are we doing in Minecraft? Tell me about what's going on in Minecraft. How is our build going? Do you got cool stuff going on? What are you working on? Tell me about it. What are you pogging about, Vol? Are you enjoying watching your new show? Oh, kind of exhausted. How many days off do you get? Or can you not hear me anymore because you're stuck in ad jail? I'll ask again after ad jail. Vintage story? What's vintage story about? I have never heard of that game, so tell me all about it. What do you do? What do you do? So putting your words on paper is gonna make one of OC's house wizard tower in the game. Hell yeah. That's very exciting. Uh, ba 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 ba. You have to survive and build cool things. If it was Minecraft, it was hard. Is it like voxel art? Is it first person perspective? What is the lookies style? What art style do we got? Ah, first person voxel based. Okay. So it is like Minecraft. For real, for I'm not obsessed with it, honest. You're gonna fucking watch the whole show in one day, dude. I have no doubts. No doubt in my mind. Vol will consume all of the content. Alright, time to assemble a playlist. New playlist. Upbeat Super Mario Galaxy. Alright, now I just have to go and add all of this shit to it. Ba, 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 ba. Add to. Here we go. Now, I can do this. Now we got all the upbeat Super Mario Galaxy songs and none of the low energy ones or angry ones or fighting a boss ones. Courtesy of Vol helping me out. Ah. I haven't been here in a minute. I want to say hi to you guys. Hello. How are we doing today? All 25 minutes long. How many hours would that be? Almost 32 hours. Oh. Yeah, I like a lot of them. I skipped a few because I was like, oh, these are like kind of low energy and I want all the like upbeat ones. Hunting for iron for a few days now. Oh wait, is it not randomized? You said there's some allegedly near where you live. Are you playing multiplayer or something, or is it like how do you know that? How are you a knower? Explain your knowerness. There's an in-game prospecting system. Oh, wow. Ah, I see, I see. You're hacking. You're a hacker. You're freaking hacking, bro. Oh, not boring, but still a stinky kobold person. Moderate upgrade, moderate upgrade. When I make my own fucking model, I'm gonna make sure I get uh crisp Visemes for all of my goofy noises I make. Cause a lot of my wiener does not Viseme particularly well with the Z Dragon. How's my day? How am I doing? Oh, I'm still trying really hard, dude. I'm trying really hard. I'm constantly having to find find ways to rebound. I've still not returned to what feels like baseline. I'm still definitely beneath baseline, but I'm trying. I'm working on it. I'm working really, really fucking hard. Oh.
ほう、向かってくるのか。
Wow, thanks for the follow, gamer. What's up? What's poppin'? How are you? How are you? How are you? Welcome on in. We're just hanging out for a little bit while I chat to people and say hi, and then we're gonna get into some arted. You doing well? Hell yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. How's your week starting off? How's your Monday? Monday? I sure hope it does. Uh, yeah, there's so much stuff I want to do in 3D, dude. Making a fully mouth rigged model would be pretty fucking cool. Ow, ow, ow. Monday was pretty chill. Hell yeah. Closing out the final bit of April. How's everybody's weather and shit doing? Are we chilling in terms of weather stuff, or are we getting fricked on? It's been like pretty fine here. We have not, like, trees haven't super blossomed yet, so we're not in the turbo like pollen kills the fuck out of you season yet, which is nice because I'm not looking forward to getting my shit kicked in by pollen, but I have been sneezing a lot more lately, and I feel like that has to be from like the season of trees killing me starting. Yeah, it went from like getting warmer here to back to being cold as fuck really fast. Uh but we're coping, and then it's gonna hopefully have, like, this is like not crazy cold. It's been somewhat pleasant, but I'm not looking forward to it suddenly getting hot. Like, I want I wish I could have like several months of like just 60-degree days. But it pretty much here it usually oscillates between like it is 45 degrees or it is 80 degrees, and you rarely get somewhere in the middle. Or there's extremely hot, summer has just started. Ooh, I'm not a I hate super hotted. I hate turbo hotted so much. All right, let's change to just chatting for a bit while I am actually just chatting. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to turbo hotted. I have an air conditioning unit, but like, I wish I had like a house that was the crazy expensive type of like modern amenities for air conditioning, where it's like it goes through the whole house through like vents in the floor and stuff, because that's not like loud. Like, the loudest part is like your condenser unit outside, but inside there's like no loud, whereas I only have window units which usually produce a fair amount of loud. But it could be worse. I could have no AC, so can only complain so much. Bull says the weather here was nice and sunny. Marginal rain was nice. Air smelled like the good stuff when I walked home. Petrichor, yeah, I like that. I like that. Riot says Final Fantasy X came out before game design, right? So there's this stupid ass chocobo race where you have to get a certain number of chests before you win the race. Okay. If it chooses 30 or 33 seconds, you cannot get the chest and win. Bro, what? So there's a 50-50 chance you just don't get to win the minigame no matter what. Wow, yeah. That, I mean, based off of my experience of what you've told me about Final Fantasy X so far, that does sound like a track. You bought a tree on Saturday. What kind of tree? Like a little tree, or like outside get big tree? What kind of tree? Post rain smell, yeah, petrichor. 60 to 68 is like the best temperature range in general. Yeah, I would tend to agree with that, especially if it's low humidity. Good thing your stepmom got you a fixer upper. Yeah. Oh, og, og, og. Well, we hope you got it, but you hit 4 poles, so I didn't get your prize, motherfucker. Tragic. Korean maple. It'll be a full-size maple when it grows up, big and strong. Wow. Did you plant it? Are you a knower about landscaping? Do you know how to plant and take care of trees? There's a lot of ways to plant trees wrong and take care of them wrong. I've seen that a lot. They're planting it come next weekend. Well, I hope you're studied up on it, because there are a lot of ways to fucking kill trees by planting them wrong. Um, my dad has his own landscape and construction business, and so I worked with him a fuck ton during my upbringing as a little gar. Uh, and something that was almost universally consistent is if somebody's going to fuck up a plant, it is usually some sort of tree because they're not super resilient to being planted in a fucked up way. And usually what people will end up doing is they will suffocate the root bed by like building a like well of mulch around it, and just like going in a fucking like cone up to the fucking base of the tree. And that's almost universally bad. So maybe don't do that. Uh but yeah, landscaping is cool. I don't think, unfortunately, like there are ways to make yards look like aesthetically pleasing and pretty, in a way that is like still ecologically inclusive. But that's very unpopular in the United States. Uh, at least as far as I've seen in the entire expanse of various different properties that I've worked on in my life. Um, Most people don't have any interest in having any sort of like actually interacting with the environment type situation with their landscaping around their house. Usually it is like, I want to have generic grass and then maybe a few flower beds or like a bush or a tree here and there. And grass in general, like, oh, I want to have a lawn. You have just immediately like exploded the likelihood of there being any actual like ecological interaction in your landscaping situation, because uh unless you are choosing to have like tiny little patches of grass that is actually regionally local to whatever you've got going on, what you're actually going to be doing is planting grass that doesn't want to grow in your area. You're going to have crazy irrigation systems like sprinklers embedded everywhere to water it constantly and waste a fuck ton of water. Uh, and it's going to keep out a lot of like biomatter that you would actually want, like various insects and bugs and other little goofy creatures that would normally live in this area, but you have now excommunicated from your entire yard because you have just obliterated all of the like stuff that should actually be there. So that is unfortunate. Um but yeah, hopefully your tree planting goes well. It's my little tangent. Uh you won? Hell yeah. Congrats, right? You have a garden. You don't have a garden. Your gardening knowledge next to nothing. Yeah, that's fair. I think gardening is cool. I think in general, like yard work and landscaping stuff is stuff that I like don't super enjoy anymore because it was kind of forced upon me for the large majority of my childhood, and that grew into a very grating resentment of doing any sort of yard work. So like whatever satisfaction could come from tending to like my own little crop of plants has essentially been exploded out of me. Also, it's not something that I feel like I'm invested enough to put my like scarce free time into right now anyways, but maybe someday in the future, if financial stuff can get sorted out a bit more, I think it would be pretty cute to like set something up in our backyard that my roommate and I could like take care of. That'd be cute. But yeah, I definitely am a big promoter of biodiversity yard as opposed to here is my grass. You're making Shen fluffier? In what sort of way? Where's the extra fluff going? Tell me of this Shen and fluffening. I would love to hear about it. California lilac and some escalanias. What are escalanias? I don't know what those are. Managing a single bonsai tree? Yeah. Well, those you use very rarely are those trees that you would just like plant outside in your yard. Those are usually, you can have outside bonsai trees. But they will not do very well in a biodiverse area because they are very prone to getting fucked up. They're not the most resilient type of tree. I do think the practice of manipulating bonsai trees and like growing them with wire and like pruning them and tending to them, I do think that sounds like a pretty like interesting and like cathartic hobby to have. I do like that a lot. Uh that sounds sick, Shen. Can you message me about that sometime? I'd love to hear about that. That sounds like stuff that I'd be really interested in hearing about. Let me know what you discover on your experimental journey. So it's an inside tree, just how like you can have inside cats. I don't think there is such a thing as outside cats. Pretty much universally, letting your cat be outdoors is incredibly damaging to the environment because you're introducing an invasive species that is fucking everything up. Which is unfortunate. Flowering shrubs that get like 6 to 8 feet tall on clusters of pink flowers. That sounds pretty. Do you guys enjoy like doing outside like yard work and stuff? I know some people find that cathartic, but I've like done it too much to ever want to do it again. I think I'm very anti yard work at this point. Um Similarly, I really hate the auditory pollution that comes with gas powered tools for yard work. I think if you're going to do yard work, you should really consider, and you're going to use tools for it, you should really consider looking into electric based stuff. Because we're at a point now where they're actually very decent. You can have electric motors that can put out the same amount of force as a gas powered motor. And not only are they way more environmentally friendly, but your noise pollution is dramatically less. Because you're not running a fucking combustion engine. But that is generally something that I am like. The more that you think about how many things are like normalized that are actually like so shitty, it gets kind of like startling at times, like how normalized it is to just, I am now going to fucking mow my lawn and also have my like son use the backpack blower, and we're going to use these at the same time, and I'm just going to create the noisiest fucking just roar in my yard for like 45 minutes to an hour, and that's so gross. I hate that so much. You don't like getting dirty from grass and soil and mud, so yeah, gardening's not for me. That's fair. Enjoy it sometimes. I just don't always have the energy for it because of work. Yeah, that's dude. That's like one of the really sad things. There's so many cute stuff, so many cute things like gardening and things that I like. It's like really hard to leverage the time and energy for. There's an intense sense of satisfaction from growing things. Stuff thriving with your help is genuinely magical. Yeah, I do think, Riot, it would be really cute when you get a pog job and when things get better for me, if we had if we like put together our a little garden patch in our backyard. We would absolutely have to like gate it off somehow though and build protection for it because we have so many creatures. There is no shot that our shit wouldn't just get like fucking immediately yoinked by deer, by fucking hedgehog creatures, by possums. Who the fuck knows, dude? But our shit would get yoinked immediately. Like if we did not, it's hard. It's not hard to keep stuff unattractive to deer and bunnies. Yeah, we would have to figure that out for sure. Possums, yeah, we have possums here. Getting woken up by the lawn tenders for this block of flats at 8 a.m. on a day off is remarkably dumb. Yeah, I think it's genuinely crazy how normalized it is to be like, hello, I'm going to create the loudest fucking noise possible. So annoying. I hate that shit. More and more plants around my house to drown out noise pollution for one of my neighbors who made their car louder on purpose. We love that. We love I've made my car louder on purpose. Why do I want to keep you out of our garden? Because you're gonna eat all of our freaking plants, bro. Leave our little baby plants in peace. When I was a very little gar, we had raspberry bushes. We had a whole like garden. So at the first house that I grew up at, we had a whole actual like garden area. We grew cucumbers, we grew tomatoes, we had a fuck ton of raspberry bushes, and those are my favorite, and they probably still are. I think raspberries are still my favorite. I like raspberries a lot. We had strawberries. I don't think we had any blueberries. We definitely had strawberries, raspberries, cucumbers, tomatoes. I don't think there was anything else. I think that was it. Uh yeah, that was fun. I liked picking raspberries. Raspberry bushes are fucking, they fight you though. Raspberry bushes are so thorny, dude. They're fucking crazy thorny. Ah, blueberries are so good. Do they have brambles? Yeah, they raspberry bushes are all fucking thorns, dude. They're very fight you type bush. All right, I'm gonna set up art stuff. We're gonna get back to grinding it, and I'm gonna run to the bathroom before I start that. So let me change my category back to funny little art. Horny bushes, yeah, very horny bushes. Horny for stabbing you. Do you like raspberries, Misty? I'm a big raspberry enjoyer. Raspberries slap, dude. Especially when they're like really ripe. I like they're not bad when they're like tough and like, I don't want to use the word crunchy because they're not crunchy, but like when it's like hard, they're stiffer, they're harder. They're not bad, but like when they're fucking juicy and like just because they're bad when they get too mush. When they're too mush is bad. We don't want too mush. But when they're on that like perfect balance between like crisp and soft, that's the good shit, baby. I like that. That's my favorite raspberry timing. It's definitely the best in my opinion. All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and then we will get started on doodling. Oh, oh wow. Okay. Oh, go. How much junk mail do you guys get? You get a lot. We get a fuck ton of junk mail. One of the things I'm like genuinely curious about sometimes is like how the fuck does this shit show up? Where the fuck is my... Hello? Are we deciding to not work right now, tablet? Your lights are on. Come on, creature. Emails or physical mail? No, physical. Physical junk mail. Okay, there we go. I was like, is this the day that my tablet breaks? That'd be unfortunate. It's not broken, it is just a very old bad connection. Well, you don't get much physical spam mail? I get a fuck ton. Part of it is because I'm still getting spam mail for my fucking like the older owner of this house. And I got this house in fucking 2021. And I will still occasionally get spam mail. Once or twice a month. We get it fucking every single day. Almost every single day. There is new spam mail in our fucking mailbox. It is honestly kind of obscene. Do you read it? No. Most of it is people trying to fucking sell you some shit. Usually they want you to buy some sort of good or service. For 80 lists before going to the home. He was signed up on his own, I guess, for like so many different things. One of the things Riot pointed out when we were on walkies today is that like so many of the realtors we've seen around have like fucking names that imply they're fucking like they have generic main antagonist uncreative main antagonist fucking names. There was this one house that got sold like either last year or a couple years ago, and the name of the guy on the like big what do they even call them? The like what is it called when you have like a big stake in the ground and you have like the funny sign? What is this called? Does this have a name? Like the like for sale sign? What is the like apparatus that it's housed on called? Does that have a name? The specific type of thing that it's housed on? A signpost, I guess. Hi Fusky, how are you? I suppose. I wonder if there's like a more formalized name for that. Anyways, there's this house that was for sale that sold like last year, 2 years ago, I don't fucking know. And the realtor was John Lawless, which is like one, I feel like John is the most like I didn't want to come up with a name in terms of like video game antagonists or for tag or like bad guys. And then there's another one that's like just for sale recently. And the guy's last name is Conway. Change it from way to man, con man. My favorite realtors, Lawless and Con Man. Surviving a tummy ache and being very brave about it. Ouchie, ow. I hate tummy aches. Have you identified the perpetrator? Do you know what caused your tummy ache, or is it just mystery tummy ache parentheses unknown? Soul Eater, fucking Trigun villain sounding ass man, right? John Lawless. John Lawless was probably the funniest one. That is a fucking generic bad guy name for sure. That is my villain name in my I wrote this story in middle school and posted it to my fucking WordPress blog type villain name. John Lawless. At work and overworked myself last night, which didn't help. Ugh. How did you overwork yourself? What happened? Did you overwork yourself doing like personal stuff at least, or did you overwork yourself doing work stuff? Hopefully it was at least personal stuff. Overworking yourself for job is usually not even usually, it's like basically never worth it. I cannot think of any encounters that I've had or any anecdotes from friends or people performing above and beyond the call of duty for their employer has resulted in literally anything other than their employer exploiting them more. Okay, at least it was personal stuff. That's much better. Fuck going fuck working overly hard on actual job. Started being openly honest about how I feel when it comes to work with customers instead of asking it like corporate wants me to. Good. I think you work in like a service industry job, Vol, right? Like you are front facing client interaction Surgakuga. You have to interact with the public as a like important part of your job. I uh I genuinely think anybody in like service industry work has some of the worst times working because like for so many people they get so absorbed into their shit and it is so like routine and mundane to them to like go to whatever thing they're interacting with that has service workers that they like I don't think it's like I'm sure it is for some people who just have fucking problems that they should be going to therapy for. But for a lot of people it's not deliberately malicious the like way that they shittily treat service workers, but there are so many instances where service workers are treated like fucking ass just because people like go into autopilot and like treat them like they're the same thing as like an NPC. Um, they're a Sergal and Nargacuga combo, Fusky. Um, Surgakuga. Um, but yeah, fucking people that like again, as I said, I it's not usually malicious. For some people it certainly is, but it's not usually malicious. It's just like, oh, you are the same thing as like the fucking automated checkout machine. Like I have not acknowledged your humanity at all. I have not even recognized that you're a human being. I am so on autopilot and like so in a habitual routine that I consider you to be a like background apparatus of whatever service I'm currently using. That behavior is so grim, dude. Every time I've worked in the service industry job, I had to experience that and it fucking sucks, dude. I also was never the kind of person to be able to do the corporate hee hee ha ha if people treat you like shit just pretend that it's okay, because they're paying us, our corporation, money. Like, no, fuck that. If someone treats me like shit, I'm gonna fucking stand up for myself. One of the most uh one of the most gruesome experiences I've had, in terms of this sort of situation, was working at a grocery store. There were several like severely disabled uh coworkers of mine uh who had been working there for like probably decades, because it was probably one of the only jobs that they could manage to like hold down. Um and I remember working baggage, like bagging groceries, while one of these people was working the register, and one of the like the person that was working the register not only had like a very impaired speech, but they also had very very shaky hands, so they could not pick groceries up very fast, and their dexterity moving them around was pretty severely like compromised. Uh and unfortunately, they were working at a like checkout aisle that was incredibly busy, and it was like on a like Friday afternoon. So it was like peak hours, and we had this like absolute piece of shit woman uh like basically harassing this like older lady because she like could not scan the groceries particularly fast. Uh this wasn't even like this lady's groceries, by the way. She was like in line, and like she was like, it started with her like it started with her huffing and puffing like passive aggressively. Yeah, I'll do some hand stretches. In the fucking line. Uh like, oh, I'm in the line and you are going sort of slow. Oh, oh, oh. Like I like just the most entitled like piece of shit. Uh and then it escalated to like sidestepping around the person in front of them to like get a better look at like this older lady like moving groceries to the scanner and like doing her job at the speed she is capable of. uh and then she like started being horrendous. Like she started calling the lady like fucking incompetent, and that like she shouldn't have her job if she can't keep at the pace that this fucking woman wants. Just starts berating her. uh and that like it is vocal enough that like everybody in the line is hearing it, because the line is unfortunately at this point like, if this is the like overhead view of like, this is the like checkout counter, this is the like belt, and then this is the like separator to like the next aisle, and there's like people like person here who is checking out. Piece of shit lady is like third in line here, but the line is currently like this. Like the line is pretty fucking massive. Uh but so like she's saying all this shit loud enough. Hi Jora. Uh I fucking bet Fusky. But yeah, she's speaking loud enough that fucking everybody in this line is like hearing it. And it's enough to bring her to tears. So she starts crying, but she keeps like doing her job. And then of course, piece of shit woman is like asking for a manager. So like one of the managers comes over and then pulls me aside, and because like older lady also has a really strong speech impediment, he's like, okay, what I need you to do is do damage control and apologize for her. So like whatever is going on, I need you to be speaking for her, and I just want you to apologize to everybody as they come through, and like just do whatever you can to like and I'm like, that was probably the most like, I could never maintain working at this place, because I'm like, no, I want to beat this lady's ass. What are you talking about? You're the manager. You should be standing up for people, not being like, okay, woman mad, so could you placate her? I'm like, no, you should tell woman, fuck off, die. But yeah, that is a distinct standout memory from my time working at a grocery store in high school. Just absolute piece of shit stuff, dude. Cannot believe. Again, as I said, it's like people just completely lose track of like, that's another human being. Like, why are you being such a fucking piece of shit, dude? I hope that lady got the fucking karma she deserves. So yeah, this is my Garu PSA. Be fucking nice to service workers, dude. They have to deal with so much bullshit. So much bullshit. Oh. Yeah, it is really gross. And again, like, never attribute to malice what you can attribute to like ignorance, but it is still like, that doesn't make it less shitty. It's like, oh, your shitty behavior was because you are so sucked up into your own world that you like forgot you were talking to a person, and you were not thinking consciously, I want to fuck this person's day up and make them be miserable. But it's like, well, okay, just because you weren't thinking deliberately, willfully in your like moment to moment consciousness, I want to ruin this person's day and be a piece of shit to them, doesn't absolve you from the fact that you ruined their day and were a piece of shit to them. That's like another thing that I think is a general, very poorly understood concept that like really shows your tier of emotional development and like social maturity, is the, what I consider a very basic understanding, but so many people, like the average person, fucking doesn't have. It's so uncommon for people to have this shit in mind. Is the knowledge that intention doesn't absolve you from the consequences of like what you did. Like being like, oh, well, I didn't mean to be a horrible piece of shit. I just wasn't really thinking about the fact that you're a person. I was just like kind of sucked up into like doing my Starbucks order. I didn't mean to be a horrible fucking piece of shit to you. I've just got a lot going on. I was thinking about my work day. My boss just asked me to turn some papers in early or whatever, and that pissed me off. And then you got like I was distracted enough that I ordered my fucking coffee wrong or whatever, and but I didn't realize that, so I'm gonna blame it on you, and I'm gonna fucking like berate the person in the Starbucks window about how they're fucking worthless and stupid and they should be fired because they can't even do their fucking job. I didn't maliciously think that I want to fuck this person's entire day up. I was just very ignorant and fucking just not in control of my emotions. And like the worst part is like, okay, there is some level of like good for you that you are like so there is it is a higher level of social maturity and like emotional maturity to be able to recognize that at all, because there's plenty of people who will not even recognize that they just did something like horrifically like mean and like awful. So being able to recognize, oh shit, I just did something really mean is one step. But then there's so many people who will like forgive themselves and absolve themselves of it by being like, well, that wasn't my intention, or they just took it the wrong way. And it's like, brother, your intention has no, if your intention has like no place in this, like you did something that made somebody feel miserable, and like you don't get to just be freed of that by being like, well, I didn't mean to, so I think it's fine. Yeah, Vol, exactly. Hi, DK. Yeah. How are you doing, gamer? How's it going? How goes the stuff you've been working on? How goes the work-life balance? Hope things are chill for you. Hope you had a good Schmonday. Did you have a good Schmonday? Only means something when you explain to the person that you understand how you messed up. Yeah, exactly, dude. Holy shit. I like, people are dog shit at apologies too. People are dog shit at like the average person is so fucking bad at conflict resolution in general, or like participating in conflict at all. There's like so many like very common conflict interaction techniques, or when I say like conflict interaction habits that people have that are so bad, that's like just are so common. They're like all over the place. One of the one like I think one of the things that's really unfortunate about like conflict habits is when people build.
Welcome back.
Oh, hi Subi.
Your steadfast loyalty is greatly appreciated.
Thank you for the sub, gamer. 22 months. I think one of the conflict resolution habits, or like conflict interaction habits, that is the most bad is like, so like there's conflict interaction habits where people dig their heels in and are like a piece of shit about like anything going wrong because they're like, well, I don't want to view myself as a bad person, so clearly I couldn't have done anything wrong. It was you that was wrong. But I think one of the ones I that is the hardest to interact with is the victim complex, where like somebody has already decided that in all situations they are being hurt, and like they walk into every situation anticipating that the other person is going to hurt them and then be abusive about it. Like it is the like that's something that I see a lot, which is like there are plenty of ways to get there, either by being abused by somebody or like various other circumstances, but the victim complex is like so hard to get people out of, because they'll walk into every situation being like, inevitably this person's going to hurt me and I am already scared because what they're going to do is they're going to hurt me and then they're going to be mean to me and call and like be super abusive and a piece of shit. So I have to be ready for that by anticipating it. And then like they end up putting themselves into this looping cycle where, via not having trust in people and constantly anticipating that they're going to be hurt and then abused, they will like either willfully or subconsciously just start reacting as if this is what's going on. And then usually what ends up happening in these circumstances is eventually either the person like does do something wrong and then like the person they did something wrong to confronts them about it, and then immediately, because of they've already been anticipating this happening, they're like and like panic and like run off because they're like, oh no, it's gonna happen again. And then by avoiding resolving any of the conflict, they put themselves in a position where either the other person doesn't know that there's conflict because they haven't communicated about it, or the other person cannot talk to them about the conflict because they're avoiding it and running away because they're in fear of being abused, which inevitably, funnily enough, results in the person that they're having the conflict with being put in a place where they're very likely to get frustrated because they're like, okay, I can't interact with you. You did something shitty to me and I want to talk to you about it, but I fucking can't because you are just running away. So now they're pissed off. And then for the person that is in this victim complex, they're like, oh, see, they're mad now. I'm justified. See, I'm justified. I knew they were going to be mad at me and like raise their voice or whatever. See, it was all justified. I knew it from the beginning. All of my crazy, like, I'm anticipating everybody I talk to is going to be mean to me. It was validated in this moment. And then like that only reinforces it. And then like that behavior just continues. Like that one's really hard to deal with. That one's arguably way harder to deal with than the I dig my heels in every time somebody says that I did something wrong. Well, everybody is mean to me complex is like so much harder to get out of. Oh, I'm giving you flashbacks. Oh, you have conniptions. Dude, there are so many, like, I feel like I could build out a roster of what are the most common ways for people to like be really bad at dealing with conflict. That's definitely one of them. The other, like, another really common one is well, like, as I mentioned, well, my intentions were good, so I'm absolved. There's nothing that I could have done wrong because my intentions were good, which means that it's on your end. I couldn't have done anything wrong. My intentions were good. That one also is fucking so hard. That one was the one I probably most align with. I had a really hard time fucking figuring my way out of that hole. That was definitely like where I think I started from the most in terms of like emotional growth. Because I definitely was in the camp of like, I said something in a way that I thought it was fine. So you being hurt by it is a you problem. I'm chilling, bro. But like a lot of the problem with conflict resolution usually has to do with lack of forward thinking, right? Because it's like, I think that one of the most important things about getting better at conflict resolution is to not worry about the actual like current conflict and like confront the connection of like, what do you want to have happen in the future? Like, I think that's the most important thing, is the like, regardless of what the current conflict is, like, what do you want to have happen like 3 months from now in this interaction? Like, how do you want this current conflict's resolution to grow and develop your relationship with whoever this is? And if you can get past the like whatever like pride or humility or whatever shame or whatever from like the current interaction and focus on like long-term projection of like, okay, this is a temporary thing. How do we get past this in a way that's like beneficial for the parties involved? That makes things so much easier, but it's so instinctual and so easy to like immediately get bogged down in the weeds of like the immediate moment that you lose sight of like what you want to work on moving into the future. Because it's like for the most part, whatever conflict it is, as long as it's not like something super crazy dire, which you shouldn't happen in the first place if you are like interacting with people who are pretty like normal. Very rarely are people doing like actually crazy malicious shit intentionally. It's usually just consequence of human interaction is people misunderstanding each other. So if you approach it from the concept of like, you have my best interests at heart, I have your best interests at heart, we have miscommunicated and talked past each other and hurt each other, and those feelings are raw and it's really easy to start reacting off of them immediately. But if you can hold off from immediately reacting on them and like get to the point where you can actually work through things, it's so much worth it. It really is just about like, can you control yourself to the point that you don't like react off of impulse. And it's also about like whatever habits you've developed that are like antisocial, like the victim thing, like the digging your heels in, working on that shit, because like nobody's perfect, and like it takes effort, it takes time. But like the baseline acknowledgement of like people that I am interacting with have my best interests at heart, and I have their best interests at heart. It's like that's the like underlying friendship agreement that I think has to be mutually observed for things to be has to have things more mutually observed for like friendships to work out. I feel like if you're ever lacking that like trust, that underlying trust of like, this person is not here to hurt me, you're not friends. That is the defining factor of we are friends, is you trust that this person is here to try and make you have a good time. If that trust falters, you've got really big problems. And that is one of the biggest things that I think you need to focus on in a conflict, is like, no matter how grim things seem in the moment, if you still fundamentally, if you remind yourself and like hold fast to the belief, okay, this person doesn't want to hurt me. They did, but that's like the inevitable consequence of interacting with other human beings. You're going to hurt each other. Like that, it is inevitable. So if you can keep in mind that like people aren't out to fucking get you and they're not malicious, then you can get really far and you can work on things together and like grow and develop your relationship. Now, that's not to say that that's easy, and that's not to say that there aren't people out there who are fucking like just going to hurt you over and over again, and like you cannot view everything as a like, oh, this is salvageable, because they're gonna suddenly gain empathy and become a better person, and like they're suddenly gonna get better communication skills and will like talk to me about their emotions and stop making assumptions or like stop being a piece of shit. Like, no, that's not always going to magically happen. So like sometimes you do have to cut your losses and be like, okay, we are not compatible. You are not treating me the way I want to be treated, and then just bail. But focusing on the like underlying, what is the basis of this friendship, is definitely really important. Came to class on a good day. Hell yeah, Subi. I mean, this is all just me rambling. This is not, I don't think there's anything about this that is a measurable scientific fact, so you're welcome to disagree. I feel like a lot of social interaction comes down to like your understanding of social theories and stuff like that. And like personal anecdote and personal experience can absolutely play a huge factor in that. I like to think that as I get older and as I experience more, I become more jaded, but I also gain a better understanding of what is my idealized social interaction. One of the things that I have been working on is the like raising my standards of social interaction and raising the minimum bar of like, you have to be this good at social interaction for me to want to spend time with you, because that's something that I have been very historically bad at, where I'm just like, this person's empathy skills, ability to maintain emotional balance, ability to communicate and resolve conflict is dog shit. I'm going to continue interacting with them despite all of these like very, very clear signs that we are not on the same level of emotional and social development. That is a habit of mine that I am trying to work on, because I think for a lot of my teenage years, I was in the like, not, I want to say Tumblr as the fucking vibe that I get from whenever people use the word or mention Tumblr, but I literally never used Tumblr. But I was definitely the like Tumblr vibe of, I can fix them, I can make them into a better person, with like people that were just, I don't like, some whether willfully or not, the word toxic applies. Like, I was just hanging out with people that were toxic, and I was like, well, they're very underdeveloped socially, but like I'm gonna I'm gonna interact with them and like just show them a better way. People that are toxic aren't here just because they're a piece of shit and they want to hurt others. It's because they've failed to have opportunities that I've been fortunate enough to have where people showed them a better way. So that's going to be me. I'm going to be the upstanding citizen Gar, and I'm going to show people a better way. And then as I had experiences and grew up and like started to become more of an adult and have a working brain, I was like, oh, that's great and all, but I don't owe that to anybody. It is super not my job to be like, oh, you lack basic communication and empathy skills. I'll still be friends with you and I'll work on helping you develop that. That's not my job. Whether or not I choose to do that is like up to me, but I should not feel responsible for like, oh, this person's a friendless loser and is very bad at talking to people and ends up hurting everybody that they're around. Well, it would be a shame if I just left them to their own devices so that they kept being a friendless loser. No, that's on them. Like that's not my problem, bro. I have long since evolved beyond the it's my job to fix everybody mentality, and now I am very firmly in the camp of like, I don't have to interact with you if you're shitty to interact with. It's not my job to fix people. Counter the fact that I value my finite time on this rock and I know my worth. Standards make all the difference. Absolutely, dude. That is a big learning moment. Big learning moment is like, you fundamentally cannot love others as until you can love yourself. Like that is something that's so important that so many people fuck up and like don't work on. Is they're like, oh no, I can be everybody, I can be such a good friend to people but also hate myself. And I'm like, no, you can't. These are incongruous. You cannot, these don't work together. You have to love yourself. You cannot be close to anybody or share in the passion of their life if you aren't comfortable with yourself. Like that is the number one you have to work on, is being able to love yourself. Very important. How do you balance self-worth with selfishness? I think it's really about like it is about, can you do the bit of willful dissociation of how like can you do the internal appraisal of how am I treating myself? What is my internal dialogue? Like what words do I use to refer to myself in my own head? How do I praise myself for my accomplishments? Am I overly destructive in the ways that I criticize myself? Am I being constructive in the ways that I criticize myself? In terms of selfishness, I feel like that comes down to a like personal basis of like, what are your values? What do you think is important in interactions? That's definitely a very personal question, whether you see something as selfish or self-love. I don't think that's like, a lot of these things are very personal. I don't think anything that I've mentioned so far is necessarily a universal fact other than loving yourself is important. Self-worth doesn't come at the cost of others, and in fact is much more about the understanding your limits, forgiving others at the cost of yourself. Absolutely, yeah. Exactly, Shen. Yeah, if you can't live life on your own terms without stepping on someone's toes, barring any issues about the causing that, of course, people who have issues with it can fuck off. Yeah, if you are showing love to yourself and being kind to yourself, and somebody is saying, no, the time you're spending investing in making yourself safe and loved and happy is coming at the time you could spend making me feel loved, fuck that person. Super fuck that person. Super duper fuck that person. Now, that's not to say that expressing, hey, I'm not getting enough out of our interaction, like I have, here are my wants, here are my needs that if we're going to continue being close, here's what I would like to have. I think discussing what you need from somebody is very important, and having regular routine discussions about what you want out of each other with somebody who you're trying to be intimately close to is very, very valuable. However, if somebody starts like asserting that you need to like give up on shit that you're doing for yourself because they want to monopolize that time or that energy, that's like super turbo big red flag, dude. Fuck that. And I've had that happen plenty, where people will like passive aggressively whine at me when I'm like like working on fucking art or something, and they're like, hey, do you wanna come play this game? And I'm like, I can't. I have to keep working on art. This isn't even like personal time. This is like my job is I am an artist, and I am so barely making it that I am turbo grinding on bills constantly. So I don't have a lot of free time. And then they'll be like super passive aggressive and shitty about it. Like I'm being mean to them, where they're just like, oh, well, you never really make time to play games with me. I'm like, okay, but I barely even fucking know you, dude. Like, I've given you the explanations of where you can get to know me. You can get to know me by hanging out in my stream or hanging out in my Discord. These are public spaces. I'm consistently in them. I'm consistently available. You just shoot me DMs like we've got some sort of pre-existing relationship and then complain at me when I'm busy. Fuck you. And then they're like passive aggressive about it, where they're just like, oh, it just doesn't really feel like you want to be friends with me. I'm like, yeah, that's because I don't know you, dude. Like, we haven't fucking done anything together, and you keep acting like I'm going to just fucking vanish away my free time specifically to interact with you when we've got no pre-existing rapport. Like, you have never taken time to come exist with me in a public space. Like, oh my god, I had that happen recently where somebody was like, well, you talk to other people in your stream, so it wouldn't be like just hanging out or anything. I'm like, one, you've never been to my stream. How the fuck do you know who I talk to or who I don't? You literally have never been to my stream. Two, yeah, you are that needy that you can't have a conversation with me in Twitch chat? It has to be 100% you the whole time, or we're never gonna be able to talk? Fuck off then. Get out of here. I don't give a shit. You don't know me. I don't owe you anything. Worse is when these people will do the super socially manipulative tactic of, oh, hey, I want to play a game with you. I bought you this game. And then they're like, oh, you have to play it with me. I'm like, no, that's not how this works. You don't get to shove money in my pocket, shove a fucking video game in my pocket and be like, haha, I now own your free time. Hee hee. You have to come play with me, a guy you don't know. No, fuck you, die. Hate that shit, dude. What sucks is that like that's happened to me enough times that I am very, very upfront and deliberately very blunt. Anytime somebody like sends me a Steam gift or like offers to buy a game for me, I'm like, you can send me stuff. I'm not gonna be like, I don't like getting free video games. I like, that's cool. But me accepting this is not a promise of spending time one-on-one with you. It is not a promise that I'm going to play this game at your beck and call. It's not even a promise that I'm gonna play this game with you. I might play this game someday in the future, and it might not be with you. You have to be cool with that. You cannot do this like, I'm buying you a gift, parentheses, this is actually a coded contract where you are signing up to give away your rights to owning your free time. That has happened to me so many times that I am now like, I give my full fucking dissertation speech anytime somebody gifts me something. I'm like, all right, here are my clauses. I am not liable to be held to blah, blah, blah. Hi, Doodoo, how are you? Very narrow, crappy set of games. Every time I've been given something, make it clear I'm not going to play it. Yeah. I've had that happen a lot. Like, there's a lot of games that I'd be interested in playing, and the main problem is I don't have, like, 30 hours a week to play video games, right? Like, I don't have this, like, abundance of time to play video games. So, there's a fuck ton of games that I am in fucking love with that I'm so excited to play that I haven't gotten to play for fucking years because they're all single player games. And I don't like get to play those really. I got to play some single player games on stream back when I was still under the impression that pouring hours into streaming games was going to get me somewhere financially stable. And I don't believe that anymore. But even so, there were some games where I'm like, no, this is something I want to experience on my own. I don't want to have to be thinking about making content and being entertaining while I'm playing this. I would really like to just enjoy it as a personal me time thing where I get to play this game and just enjoy the game for its own merits and spend some time just playing a single player game by myself. I've never gotten to fucking do that shit like for years now. So there's so many games on my shelf that I'm like, yeah, if I find the time, I want to fucking play that. But as a result of this, when people ask me the question, I have to very explicitly like explain stuff when they're like, oh, would you like this game? I'm like, yeah, I would. But my options for gaming time are socialize with people or go become a fucking hermit. Because if I'm going to play video games and I choose to not play ones that I'm going to do while being social with friends, I'm just not going to have time to be social with friends. Which is why I still consistently, like, Dota is the main game that I play. Because it's a game that I have a lot of fun with, which is, like, another really important factor in me spending gaming time is, like, I would really like to play something that I have a lot of fun with. Something that I used to do a lot was, like, compromise on that by being like, okay, this person wants to play this game with me, and I don't really like it, but, like, it's a game that they like, and it will at least give me some amount of gaming time and some amount of social. But I have stopped doing that really recently because I'm just like, I don't have enough gaming time and social time to be playing games that I don't really like. Like, I'm just not, I used to do that for other people's benefit, but then I was like, you know what? No, I am giving away so much of myself already to people. I should not, that's not something I'm going to compromise on anymore. I'm just going to be like, nah, I don't really like that. I'm not going to play that. Or at least I don't like it enough to like play it right now. Which is like something that I am proud of myself for, like being better at communicating that boundary. I just tell people I play Final Fantasy 14 and they run away. There's better vices out there. Yeah, is Destiny 2 the better vice? Is that your pitch, Subi? Time to drink on a Monday. Wow. What are we drinking, Shen? What do we got cooking? Also, I didn't get any confirmation from you, but whatever you figure out about Fur Shader, I would love to see it and or Google it, because that sounds like something that I might be interested in, because I do like fur, and it does seem like it's complicated. So whatever knowledge you accrue, I would love to co-opt some of it. Hi, Mooba. Oh, how are you, creature? It's good to see you. How are we holding up, gamer? How are you doing? How you doing? Streamer that respects themselves and their time. I'm trying, dude. I'm trying. It's been really fucking hard lately because I've been so turbo busy. Destiny. I'm just a user of Destiny, not a pusher. Subi says, I used to grow Destiny in my backyard, but not anymore. I now work at Destiny Players Anonymous. I'm eroding slowly, but I hope you've been doing well. Dude, I have not been doing well, so tell me all about it. If it's stuff you want to talk about in a public forum, I will fucking be here with you and tell you, damn bro, that fucking sucks. And we can bonk our drink glasses together and a sippy. And I can tell you of my many lamentations of the Gar. I'm drinking a Tom Collins on a Monday. Hell yeah, brother. I don't even know what that is. Sounds like alcohol though, probably. Mooba, when was the last, like, so I know we had our little call, and I vaguely remember it being recently, or at least I think it was this month. Have you been updated on the like fucking the Riot went to the hospital situation? Was that something that you were in the know about? Our call was definitely before that, so is that something you absorbed from peeking at the server, or do I get to tell you about that story? Is the homie alright? Yeah, Riot's fine, they're chilling, but that was a big part of why my shit's been fucked and stressful as hell for the past bit. So yeah, cool. Okay, I get to fill you in on that, but you go first. You go first. Tell me why your shit's fucked. If or tell me it's not shit I want to talk about, or not shit I want to talk about in Twitch chat. In which case you can tell me later. We can have a call at some point. All right, first I go pee though. I go pee while you type. Be right bark. Hell yeah, Sean. Oh. All right, I await my Muba confirmation. Ah, there it is, dude. Right on time. Last weekend, the roommate is being a pain in the ass. Oh, can't make progress on things, etc. It's a whole day from work, so I'm gonna make katsu curry and get some stuff done. Fuck yeah, dude. Good on you for recognizing like when you need a fucking second. That is a very important, woefully underdeveloped skill for most. So, big props on that. Big props on that. That's me. Give me the lore. Okay. Not last Tuesday, but 2 weeks ago Tuesday. I am awoken from my middle of the night schnoozing to a Riot who can barely fucking like walk or move or talk, flomping onto my bed and pleading for me to call them an ambulance because they're in agony. At which point I'm like, okay, hello, good morning. I call an ambulance. So I call Riot an ambulance. Uh, they show up, they load Riot onto a stretcher, and they're like, okay, we're taking them to so and so hospital. Did my fucking okay, here it is. We're taking them to so and so hospital. And I'm like, okay, cool. Can I ride along? And they're like, no. If you want to get there, you're gonna have to get there on your own. I'm like, okay. So I go back inside. They're like in the driveway, and I'm like messaging Riot's friends, telling them like what the situation is, what's going on. And then somebody like 10 minutes later or something, 5 or 10 minutes later, somebody pops back out of the ambulance to come tell me like, hey, if you're fucking coming with us, you gotta come in, you gotta come now. And I'm like, what? And they're like, we're leaving like 30 seconds, so you gotta come with us. I'm like, but you okay? So I just run and fucking put my shoes on, because they like make it clear they're fucking pulling out with or without me. I don't have time to pack like water or snacks or fucking anything. I am in my PJs. My hair is super fucked, because that's how it is after every single night, because I have really long, really curly hair. But I have my phone, and I have like Riot's ID and stuff. So get in the ambulance. The drive to the hospital is like 5 billion years long, and the entire time Riot is in like fucking dying mode. And then we finally get to the hospital. They wheel Riot into a room. I'm like trying to help them cope. I'm like talking to them. They already have fucking patches on their arm of like a gauze and gauze held on by a band-aid from dude fucking up trying to put an IV into them while in the ambulance. So Riot is like freaking dying. They're in terminal fucking super awful pain. And I'm just trying to help them cope through it. And then like minutes pass. It is like been a half an hour, and like nobody is in here. So I'm like peeking out, being like, hello, like we are in an emergency room. When do people come? So then we get a nurse technician who's like training or whatever, and then they come in and they try and and they're like, oh, actual nurse person should be here soon. Let's like try and put this IV in. So they jab Riot. Oops, it didn't work. Jab Riot. Oops, it didn't work. That's 2 more like gauze held on by a band-aid spots on Riot's arm. Go to the other arm. Oops, didn't work. Another gauze and band-aid. They give up. They leave. Still no actual doctor. Like minutes pass, half an hour passes. Another nurse tech comes in and tries. They fuck it up multiple times too. Eventually, an actual doctor comes in, goes, okay, it seems like you probably have a kidney stone. We're gonna have to get you a CT scan or whatever. But you're in crazy pain. So we really need to get you on like painkillers, like really strong stuff like morphine. At which point Riot has been in so much pain for so long, they vomit from the pain. While the doctor is in the room being like, wow, you're fucking super turbo dying of agony. We really need to get you on drugs. That doctor leaves. And then like again, like 45 minutes of nobody and nothing. And then finally a nurse comes in, like the actual nurse, not a fucking nurse tech this time. Actual nurse comes in, finally hooks Riot up to an IV properly. First try, by the way. And they're like, yeah, okay, draws Riot's blood, and then is like, yep, we still need to get you in for a CT scan. We need to get you painkillers. And then like it's still like what feels like another fucking like half an hour after that before they actually administer the painkillers. So Riot was really fucking going through it, but that's like the most of it. I was also having a miserable time because I had no sleep because I was woken up in the middle of the night. I had no food or water, and like hours and hours had passed. I only have my cell phone. Riot is like in and out of being like so delirious from pain that I like can't really do anything other than like hold their hand. And I am like the most understimulated I've been in a long time, where I'm just like watching the clock, watching every single minute tick by.
Your steadfast loyalty is
wings!
greatly appreciated.
Exclamation point Morgus. Hi Morgus. How are you? Heart emoji. 17 months. Thank you. I appreciate the support. But yeah, so I'm like super bored, super tired, super hungry and thirsty, very big headache from all of this. Eventually they get Riot the CT scan and the painkillers and whatever, and one of my only friends who lives locally hooks me up with a car ride, and they take me out of there they bring me to a McDonald's, and that was great. Best food I've eaten in a long time, even though it was not very good, but I was so fucking miserable that it was great. Then eventually Riot finally gets out of there. They're prescribed some sort of kidney medication thing, but it is not painkillers. So we end up taking them home, and they end up just being in a lot of pain over the next few days. So I give my friend Nirmer $50, and they buy Riot some pain soothing type edibles, and Riot had used those along with ibuprofen and acetaminophen, and they got through it. I'm hanging in there, Morgus. I've not been doing well, but I'm trying my best. But anyway, so that was incredibly stressful. I think the pain only started to like let up after like a full week, or maybe like 8 days since the Tuesday. So sometime in the middle of last week was when Riot stopped like having any issues with it. But that ate up an entire day. I obviously didn't get to stream that day or do any work. So that like sucked up an entire day, and was also the exact same time that I hope so too, Morgus. I'm working really hard on it. That was also the same exact time that I had just finished a YCH that I put a bunch of hours and work into, and it completely flopped. Like absolutely zero interest, not a single bid, barely any like views on anything, despite me like trying to repost it and put reminders and everything. And so that added to my stress a lot, because I was like, I have not made any money this month. I need to make bills. So I then, while like super stressed and working with like helping Riot to not be fucking dying all the time, I repackaged that YCH with a bunch, like with 2 others that I worked on that I was also like, okay, these are pretty good. I redesigned how I was promoting it. I set them to like flat prices instead of an auction, because I was like, okay, maybe this will all like help or whatever. And it didn't. Those all like also flopped. They're still up. And so I just continued being super stressed about everything, because I was like, okay, this all sucks. Everything is bad and not good. But I kept grinding through it, and then I've been working through the other commissions that I've had, and I had eventually some friends came out of the woodwork and were like, hey, is this pose of these YCHs that you posted, is this still like available? And I'm like, it sure is. It has been sitting there with no interest for a hot minute now. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I will take it. So I sold 2 slots of one of the poses, and that has been good. But yeah, it's just been really fucking a lot the past couple of weeks. Yeah, Riot seems to be fully recovered. There were several days of like irritation, probably just from things like healing and stuff, but no longer any bouts of like I'm fucking dying agony. So that seems to be mostly over. Nice on the YCH cell too. Yeah, it was pose A got taken twice, if you know which one that is. I still think B is a really fucking fun angle, and I like C too, but C was the one that I repackaged. C was the one that I had a whole background for and shit too, but then I was like, fuck it, nobody liked the background or whatever, so I will just nuke that and try repackaging it. But whatever. I'm not super beaten up over it or anything. It's just like one of those things where it's like I invested time in that, and since it's not paying me back any money, it's like bad. That's how things currently are for me, is like if I'm spending time on art, it has to be making me money in some way or another, which is unfortunate because I'm very much in the like art as a biological machine that pumps out corporate orders more than art as an artist right now, which is what I'm trying to get away from. I don't remember where to look for those. I have my FA for Affinity. I have my Blue Sky. I have Twitter. I have a Telegram channel. But regardless, I got to do my Patreon hangout on Saturday and talk to people about my plans for. Hi Kai, how are you? My plans for moving forward with things, which is like, current mission objective is get far enough in front of bills to pump enough time into creating a small but good, or like at least decent set of not safe for work 3D animations, and pivot my whole deal to that, because all of my research points to not safe for work 3D animations being the most consistently viable way to support yourself in like the space that I am in with artistic stuff. And I went over on Saturday about like the reasons why I've like decided this is where I want to go, but the TLDR is just that like the lifetime of 2D art continuing to make you money and like get food on your plate is very bad for individualized bespoke commissions of people's OCs. It can get slightly better if you have your own popular roster of characters that you're putting into comics or stuff, or if you're drawing a lot of Rule 34 with like, here is John Man of the Week from popular book or movie or video game or whatever, because that could potentially get more views than just the first posting, or you could sell merch of it. And then 2D animation work in general, especially if you add sound effects, just has a much longer lifespan of people like continuing to visit it, and maybe somebody like you can guide people to your like support platforms of Subscribestar or Patreon with those for more than just the initial posting. But with my current grind of here's somebody's OC that I've drawn, that is like so everything just fucking wilts and dies in terms of it making you money almost immediately after you post stuff. So I want to pivot to something where it's like I can invest time in something and it actually continues supporting me for longer than a day. 3D also just has so much like asset reuse, which is really nice. And there's just so much about it that's just so much more viable for like me not being a corporation and me just being an individual. So that's the current plan, but as I said, the step one of this plan is unfortunately this entire thing requires an investment of time where I am not immediately making money because I will not be getting paid to like make this initial gallery. So I have to get in front of my bills enough that I can spend working hours doing something that's not going to immediately pay off, and I'm just not in that position yet, which is why I have been turbo grinding art stuff lately.
Me liking shiny things. Me wanting not to stress about food or shelter or medicine.
You've already helped me out so much, Booba. I really appreciate it. Aug. Thank you so much, dude. Don't ever feel like obligated or whatever. Like I talk about this stuff to you guys because I care about you guys, and you guys are very important to me, and like this is like we are all in this little community together. But I don't want any of it to ever seem like this is me like pity baiting, or like me fucking being like, oh well, it's e-begging time. So like take care of yourself first, take care of your your needs and your goobers. But I do really appreciate it. It means a lot. The 3D is exciting though. Look forward to what you do, dude. I genuinely think, like, with how much I have like figured out about Blender and stuff lately, I think I can become really good at it. Like I have confidence in my ability to make fucking premiere primo shit. Like I'm very confident I can make stuff that is hot and that people will like. I just gotta practice and get the work in, you know? Because it is a skill. It's not something that like I think I'm gonna be immediately a god gamer at out of the gate. There's gonna be a lot of hurdles and a lot of shit to learn, but I am confident that I can do it. And I have a few people that I'm going to try and harass about it because it's like one of the, if there's anything that I have learned about Blender, especially with my fortunate interactions with Morgus at morgus.gumroad.com, morg.us. Go support them. They're very cool artists. Go follow them on whatever site you choose. It's that Blender as a software is the kind of deal where you can either spend 8 hours painstakingly fiddling with something, watching 6 different YouTube videos, reading ancient forum threads that are all like fucking super deprecated and wrong, and then finally figure out how to do something. Or you can have somebody who is already in the know about how to do it show you how to do it in 3 minutes. And like that is something that I think is really invaluable, is if you can have like somebody who is willing to share their knowledge with you. So I'm going to go out of my way to cold call some people on Twitter and be like, hey, what resources did you use to learn this? / are you willing to talk to me about stuff? I've already been ghosted by somebody on that. I've already been ghosted by 2 people on that I've tried to talk to, which, like, again, nobody's obligated to tell anybody shit. Especially if you're busy and you've got your own shit going on. But there's no harm in me asking, right? Like I should try and ask, because as I said, like all it takes is for one person to say yes and show me something that took them 40 billion hours to learn, and it's going to take me just the one little them showing me it to learn. That, like, now I know that and I can pass that on to somebody who asks me, right? It's the difference between viewing it's like the same thing that a lot of 2D artists do too, where it's just like, oh, give you my brushes, explain my methodology. No, that is my trade secret that I will take with me to the grave. I could never share that with anybody because that would diminish its value, and now things are going to be so much worse for me. It's like, I don't know, like you can view things like that if you want to, I guess. If you are like, yeah, I need to be a thriving part of the capitalist ecosystem, and like, I don't know if that really is the case for you, then go off, I guess. But I am much more a proponent of, if there's anything I know that you want to know, just fucking ask me and I will try to make time to show it off. And if enough people are interested, I'll put together a fucking actual tutorial video about it. I really think the dissemination of like information like that is like super valuable. I'm glad I didn't ghost you, Gar. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't too. Big heart emoji, Morgus. Sadly, they're not going to tell you. Well, there's no harm in asking. They probably won't, but like that doesn't stop me from asking. People are missing out if they ghost you. Well, I'm glad you think so, Morgus. Oh, how's your week started off, Morgus? How was your Monday? Did you have a good Monday? How about you, Kai? Was your Monday good, if you're still here? Monday was mid. Unfortunate. Where are we at in the Morgus job work cycle of like things are chill versus we are currently grinding out a deadline that is coming way too soon? Spend a lot of time in VR. Hell yeah, that's always good for Morgus enrichment. Finish the pick, which is nice. Hell yeah, that's good. Are we winning our battles against the brain demons? The 3D animating model community in this fandom? It does, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Again, it's like one of those things where if you view things as like there is some reality of we are competitors in a market, right? So if I can slow down my competition from learning stuff by not disseminating any of the information I've learned, then there is some sort of financial incentive in that, right? That's why I said like I'm not gonna hold it against anybody, because it's like if your interpretation of this is that withholding your information is helping you secure your bag and fucking put food on your table, then like more power to you. But I don't look at it that way, and I don't want to ever look at it that way. I exclusively interact with capitalism out of a need to fucking survive. I don't do it because I think it's cool or because I like want to have a bunch of money. I exclusively do it because there's currently no option to not do it. Things are pretty chill at the moment, but I also feel like I'm not super motivated to do much, and performance review time is coming up. Yeah, you weren't here yet, Morgus, when I was talking about my stance on and literally never fucking do anything above and beyond for your job ever, because they're not going to fucking reward you for it, and worse, they're going to start expecting it from you. Like, I have literally not once have I ever seen anybody actually rewarded in a meaningful way for going out of their way to like try and impress their boss or like do extra work that they weren't being paid to do. I've literally never seen it work out for them ever. It has always just resulted in them being manipulated. Oh, hi, Zarthus. It's rotten to the bone. There's a big bubble right now for 3D animating models, and there are like two artists who are capitalizing on the demand, and they're completely dominant. I mean, I already know one of them, and I've pissed him off, so I know sort of what you mean. They don't like my ass for good reason. How are you doing, Sarthus? That's okay. I'm not like concerned about stuff like that. I'm very much of the if people don't get along with me, it is probably a them problem. I have enough self-confidence and self-love and people who enjoy being around me that I am not like I no longer feel the need, if I ever did, for everybody to like me. If not everybody likes me, that's fine. Wait, who is this? We're not talking about it. I'm not interested in like having conversations about here's these people that don't like me. It is not anything you would ever get involved in, so don't worry about it. It's also very old news at this point. I mean, that's not shocking. How are you doing, Zarathus? I loved the big creature doodle you made. You're so big. They're so large. Creatures when they're large. I love that. Love that for them. It should be shocking. It's not shocking to me. I don't know, dude. When I hear that somebody who's a manipulative piece of shit also has like bad takes, I don't go like, wow, how could they have had bad takes? They were such a good person. No, like that tracks. I'm not jumping out of my seat. I mean, that's also not a shock, dude. We have so many people who are like, all right, here's my really bad take about all the people that I hate, and here's this really bad behavior that I have demonstrably shown. But I draw hot porn, and then people are like, okay, I'll forgive you. That is a very common thread in furry spaces, is like, yes, they committed atrocious acts, but the porn they draw is hot. So what can you do? Am I right? Puts more money in their pocket. What can you do? What am I supposed to do? Have moral integrity with where I spend my money? Why would I do that? Bum, 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 bum. Ah, frick. Or where else am I supposed to get my mediocre chicken sandwiches? Damn. Cutting to the core. See, that's an interesting conversation that I had with, I think, like, it's been a minute since I've had that one with Riot, but I remember the conversation of it's we currently live in a society where it's like it is impossible to like live the perfectly like perfect moral integrity life if you're going to consume like literally any product, because like there's almost certainly some sort of bad thing in the chain of shit that had to happen for that product to get to you. Like almost guaranteed somebody was fucking abused or underpaid or whatever. So it's usually about like what, I don't know, like what affects your personal community, what affects the people you're interacting with, where you personally draw like your lines in the sand for stuff. Cause you could there is the like uh the hyperbolic argument of like if you ever challenge somebody on, I don't think it's moral of you to consume XYZ, there is the hyperbolic fallback argument of like, okay, but look at literally every other product on the market that involves abusing people or hurting animals or uh manufacturing in a third world country with like underpaid labor or whatever. And it's like you can kind of use that as a fallback for pretty much anything, because that's like basically every product. No ethical consumption under capitalism. Pretty much Elfcard, yeah. Yag. Yag. Shit blows, dude. Let's all pool our money and go live on our own planet. Let's build our own space rock to go live on. Let's do that. How many suns should we have? Do you guys like when fantasy worlds have like multiple suns or moons? I think that shit's neat. Where's Lucernic? I bet they have a fucking take and a half about that. Should ask them about that. Two at most, otherwise a 3 body problem becomes a problem. True. True. I'll show you. I'll show you a 2 body solution, Morgus, if you know what I'm saying. Put both of us in hoodies. Get me some wings. I'll show you a 2 body solution. You know what I'm saying? Up top. Two body solution to a 3 body problem. No. It's a sex joke, Morgus. This is when Garces want to do anal. Yeah. Two moons over 2 suns. That's pretty cool. Why do all of your come-ons involve astronomy? It's just the consistent through line. I'm afraid. What are you afraid of, Morgus? Oh. You've heard stories? What have you heard stories about? Now I'm very curious. What have you heard stories about, Morgus? What does that mean? You told them to me. True? True? Oh god. Kai, you've been around in the people who draw shit community for a hot minute as a person who draws shit. Have you ever had the interaction of like somebody wanting to like know how somebody does something and you ask them and they're like, "No. I will not be telling you that. Fuck you, die. Go to hell." Not really. Well, that's good. Nope. In a high-pitched voice. What are you gonna do about it, Shen? What are you gonna do about it? I'm not sure I've ever asked anyone art stuff. Damn. Wogue. Mushroom? It's exclamation point Kyber? Yeah, there you go. Beat you up? Oh, we thought this was going out to robbery. I'm taking everything you've got. I don't got anything, dude. You can take all my fucking redacted. That's all I've got, dude. And that people in the coding space are willing to share secrets of how they do things in other areas. How much do you think that relates to like coding mostly being a like thing you do in a corporate setting versus a like hobbyist like create like self propelled activity. Do you think that's related? Ugh. It's all fake and easy to look up. Maybe in like generalized settings, but I'm sure there's like specifics. Sorry, can you repeat that? I was saying, do you think the like people being more willing to share coding stuff is at all related to it being mostly like coding is mostly done, or the stuff that people are willing to share is like corporate related as opposed to like indie project stuff? Or maybe it's like coding is more like, I don't know, it's binary of like either something works or it doesn't, whereas like art is more of a creative medium where there's like a lot more room for self-expression. Coding is like you have the syntax of the language and then that's like it. You're not like gonna be doing anything wild or wacky that's not like repeatable by somebody else. Collaborative anyways. Soul coder, you can only do so much, you have to work with others. Now that's a fluffy tail, baby. Hell yeah, brother. Look at this pose, dude. Got that perked hip. Spicy like defense contracts, yeah. I'll never be good at weight painting. That's something I'm looking forward to practicing more sometime. Alright. Bathroom again, BRB. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Dude, the Morgus weight painting tricks. There are companies that don't share anything outside the company, especially if it gets spicy like defense contracts. Yeah. And there's whole open source stuff so much people do for free. True. True. We're all better off for it, yeah. I believe in Shen too. Kind of weight painting I want to do is like 130 bones that range from 10 to 1,000 vertices. It's not fun and there's no trick. There's no, are there really no like fucking like auto rigger things that like make that shit suck less? Gar, that chest is A+ on this character? Yeah, I mean it's from a if you're talking about the model itself, this is like a bunch of different things grafted together. This is from the posing software. But I will be drawing over it. The pecs? Daz? Yeah, this is the so all basically I've just been using Daz to pose things. Because a big part of my art renaissance was deciding that not relying on 3D programs is stupid, and the arbitrary lines I've drawn in the sand about what tools I can or can't use are arbitrary and dumb, and I should stop doing that. You said there's a Telegram channel? Yeah, there is. T.me/GGARU, I think. What's still cool? Yeah, I agree. And I am glad that I have gone out of my way to get over my arbitrary. I've decided that I don't get to oh wait, you know what? This is technically mirrored, right? And this is an orthographic front view, so in theory, a game theory, I should be able to like scanning theory of game theory. Oh, I'll get. We'll see. We'll see how well this works out for me. It is an orthographic view and it was made using a mirror, so theoretically. ARP sucks, Rigify sucks, it all fucking sucks, it sucks shit and I hate it, I just want to be good at a skill that everyone I've talked to does the shit professionally says sucks shit, so yeah, weight painting sucks. Sad. But yeah, one of the things I've been working on in my turbo grinding art renaissance is recognizing tools as tools and not and like really questioning any lines in the sand I've drawn about what tools are okay for me to use and what aren't. And I think I am pretty much now at the like the only things that aren't cool for me to use are fucking AI shit. I'm pretty cool with using any 3D tools I can to do 2D art. Because after critically examining the reasons I didn't like it, all of my reasons were stupid. Actually, those are also no, but this is specifically the skull. Bum 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 bum. Do you guys have any affiliation with sports? Is there anybody here that like attends regularly or used to attend regularly sporting events like in person? Bruh, I like don't know what the fuck combination of hotkeys creates that, but something I seem to be able to consistently accidentally do. Bum, 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 bum. I have not been to many sporting events. I have been to, I remember being brought along to one pro baseball game and fucking hating it. God, it was so fucking boring. There is not a single real life sport I have ever like watched and been entertained watching. There are esports that I like watching, but there's not a single real life sport I have ever been entertained watching. I could never get behind my parents fucking having a bunch of people over every single time it was Super Bowl Sunday and like having a football game on every fucking TV everywhere in the house. I'm like, dude, I don't care. This whole thing is so boring. Like watching baseball and hockey sometimes. Hell yeah. Kind of fun though when I did. I think the only fun I got out of it was being there with my friends. The sound gives you a headache. The sound of the announcers, shrill sound of the crowds. I don't know what it is. It's just horribly unpleasant. Yeah, I am not much of a sports aficionado. Couple games this year. Fuck yeah. We live right near Gillette Stadium, which surely hosts plenty of sporting events, but it has just never been something I have been stimulated by. And I am okay with that. I am much better at acknowledging that shit nowadays because I used to be pretty ruthlessly like bullied about it by my parents because they just thought it was like fucking stupid that I wasn't into the same shit they were. Uh and like I don't know, dude. I think it is fine to not have the same interests as people. I think berating people about it is pretty stupid. But yeah, my parents used to like fundamentally not understand why I would not have any interest in sitting down to watch whatever sports ball they had decided was the thing they wanted to watch. Bum, 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 ba-da-da-da. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. The chat is fighting over Pokemon design. What, a particular Pokemon or like the entire thing in general? What is the discussion? Fill me in, tell me more. I need more details, Shen. What are people talking about? Fill me in. Also, Kai and Morgus, did one of you hug the other for me? Was my hug delivered? It freaking better have been, dude. Nah, what the frick, dude? No, what the fuck, bro? I even passed the torch because Kai was like, I'm gonna forget, and I was like, okay. And then I asked Morgus before I went to bed, did Kai deliver it? And they were like, no. I'm like, okay, torch passed to you. You deliver one to Kai instead. Bruh. You guys are the worst courier service ever. I immediately forgot. Well, at least you said you would. I want to know too, Muba. I want to know what the Pokemon discourse is. Nobody's explaining. Does it count that I put my feet on Kai's belly last night? No, because that I listen. I'm using one of you two as a means of expressing affection to the other, and I would not be my my desired way of expressing affection would not be putting feet on Kai's belly. We have failed you. Is this not immediately resolvable? You cannot be more than a fucking 20-second walk from each other right now. Where is the hug? There's no solution. I don't think that's true. My hug tax rate only increases, dude. You guys owe me so many hugs then. Whenever we meet up in person, you're gonna have obscene amounts of hug debt. The interest rates are staggering. I'm gonna have to get a loan. Oh. Oh, they're arguing about the quality of designs across different generations. My favorite fallback for whenever I feel like teasing people about Pokemon is just bringing up Boo Boo Keys. Boo Boo Keys the Pokemon. That's usually my go-to. Dragapult? What's Dragapult? Now I need to know what this is. Is there a Catapult Pokemon? Is based off of a bomber plane? What the fuck? That sounds fucking metal as hell. But it shoots little dudes? It shoots dudes? As in, like, dudes come out of it? It's got missile bays? Oh, shit. Damn. It sounds metal as fuck, dude. Sounds pretty based. Can we agree that Klefki sucks though? What's that? Wait, what's the name of the one that's the garbage can? Can we agree that the garbage can one sucks too? Whatever the name of that one is. Can that be agreed upon? Garbodor, yeah. Can we agree that that guy sucks? Is that controversial? All Pokemon are okay. Is that true? They're all fantasy creatures. Yeah, but some of them are cooler than others for sure. Some of them are definitely cooler than others. Bum, 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 bing. Bum, 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 bing. What is and is not cool is subjective. Untrue. All of my opinions are facts. I will not accept otherwise. Ugh. My remote, my fan this me turns on as well as I get super confused. Are they actually related? Or is that just like a coincidence? No, but as soon as whatever infrared code is sent on the TV also sometimes triggers the fan. That's pretty funny. Good night, Shora. Have a good snooze. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you have a fantastic Tuesday. Good night. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum. Burning, 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 burning. Bum, 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 bum. bum, 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 bum. Oh. Oh. How many people here are gonna be playing the Elden Ring DLC when that shit comes out? Anybody particularly hyped for that? Hello. Hell yeah, dude. How many of you guys are excited for the gameplay and how many of you are excited for the lore? Do I have any people in here who like actually have any idea what the fuck is going on in Elden Ring? Yes. Hell yeah. Boom, boom. Are you guys gonna continue off of pre-existing save files for the DLC, or do you think you're just gonna do a whole new playthrough and then get to the DLC? And how do you think it's gonna be integrated? Do you think it's gonna be integrated like Dark Souls 3 DLCs, or do you think it's gonna be like 2 or 1? How do you think you're gonna get there? Are you guys gonna do you think they're gonna announce how you get there, or do you think you're gonna have to either look up a guide or figure it out on your own? You have to have certain bosses being to access it. Interesting. Interesting. Are you guys if it's not like explained in the main menu when you first launch the game when you get the DLC, are you guys gonna look up how you get there, or are you just gonna like wiggle around in the world until you find it? Bum, 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 bum. I'm gonna run to the bathroom again real quick. Be right back. Playing it the same way I play the base game, like an MMO. Okay, okay. Oh. Oh. Oh, thank you, logins. Boom, 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 boom. Hyperfocus in the DLC when it drops? Fuck yeah, dude. Make sure if you have any social media, you fucking either don't look at it or you fucking mute every possible person who might talk about it or mute every keyword ever, everywhere. Hey, Diego, what's up? What's poppin'? How are you, gamer? Doing all right. I'm hanging in there. Doing what I can, working on art stuff. The usual. And only social use real sugar not getting spoiled by YouTube thumbnails and titles. That too, yeah. Hug delivered. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It means a lot to me. I can't be in New Zealand, but as much as I can be. Big hugs to you too. Oh, I have to do anything tomorrow just to go the fuck home. If you're talking about mowing the lawn, it is darker because it's like evening. Uh, I would argue go mow the lawn now. You can get home, be very epered, and just go to bed, and then tomorrow is not cringe. There's just lots of 3 other things now. Well, make sure you eat whatever it is that you're doing. Make sure you don't like ignore eating. But yeah, I would get it done today so you can have tomorrow to actually relax. I don't know why this one's so much quieter than the other ones. Really quiet comparison. Weird. Yeah, we believe in you, Pendle. We'll be here for you. How goes my day so far? It's been okay. Decent enough. I am doing everything that I can to like just keep myself fucking going, dude. I'm doing what I can. I just need a fucking cuddle and $5 billion. That would fix me. And the cuddles will come soon. 17 days. Soonge dragon. Soonge. bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, go, go, go. Bum, bing, 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 bing. That's a pretty fucking nifty skull, dude. I'm very satisfied with that. Oh, yeah, dude. Look at that shit. Look at this skull, man. Fuck yes. Bum, bum. Oh, actually, before I turn symmetry off, hee hee ha ha. Based. Based. Bing, bing, bong, bada dee dip, dip, bing. Ba, bong, ba, ba, bong, bong. Ba, 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 bong. Ba, ba, bing, ba, bong, bong, ba, ba, bong, bong. Ba, 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 bong, bong. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Mm, mm, mm. Ba, 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 bong. Ba, bong, bong, ba, ba, bong, ba, ba. I imagine it looks pretty goofy if I this shit. Probably. No, that's actually not that bad. Maybe we keep be much more precise. Bong, 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 bong. Bong, 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 bong. This is gonna be so fucking cool, dude. I'm so excited for working on this more. However, it's about time for me to head on out of here. This is fucking exciting though. We got good detail work in today. We got a tail, we got the clobs in, and most importantly, we got the skull. What a good skull it is. I modeled that shit, baby. That's all Gar. That's Gar skull, baby. Hell yeah. Very excited, very happy with that. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I had a fun time working on this, and I enjoyed chatting with you guys more. I had a little bit of a better sleep last night, so I had more energy to leverage into being a bit more able to talk and chat today. So that was great. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope you had a cozy time. Thank you so much, as always, to everybody who supports me on Patreon or by donating or subbing to the channel. Keeps my funny little gamer lights on, lets me pay for some of my bills, so it really does mean the world to me. You guys are what keep me going. I'll be back tomorrow working on this some more. Until then, hope you get some good snacks in and some good naps in. I'm going to raid out, so you can stick around for whoever I send you off to. I'm sure they would appreciate it. I will see you guys later. Oh, let's go say hi to Gora. They're streaming. Go say hi to them. They're very cool. You're not going to be able to talk in their chat because they have, unless you've already followed them, because they have the followers only chat on, but you can still go follow them, and then next time you'll be able to chat there. Alright, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Heart emoji.
What do you think about that, huh? Zap.